Hello everybody, and welcome back to Oakbridge. Busy putting some water through some things that need it. Last episode we'd got the driveway put in, and the idea is some basic planning. We're moving towards the end of December. The builders have arrived, and it's having a bit of a struggle. The builders have arrived and started with the building of the house. The facade is there, inside still to sort out. My wife's dealing with that. I've put a little bit of a texture on the edge of this path just to make it look as though it's sort of blended a bit better, as opposed to just going cobblestone field. And I've just remembered when I was topping up the water for the garden that there it is, that the apple tree needs water in order to make apples. Does it not take much water? Yeah, it'll take loads. And we can put extras. We'll just go with water for now. But I've got an idea for the chicken problem issue. Which we're going to tackle today. That's bizarre. How curious. This is really struggling, although it is in 4th gear, which you probably wouldn't be at 4 miles an hour. You'd probably drop that down, wouldn't you? Oh, it has taken some more at some point. Yep, there it goes. Seems to just be stopping every so often. Yet again, another great start to the episode. Okay, so I'll show you what my plan is for this. We're going to build a chicken coop. And I'm planning to put it over the top of this. And I'm going to leave this bush thing in there as well. It's going to have chicken wire over the top so we can cut it around to fit. I think I'm going to need to lower the ground though, so I should probably save this because I'm not very good at this. It's not as easy to do on console as it is with give that a try. It's a lot easier to do it on PC than it is on console. Ooh dear. Not that much. I know that around here I'm going to have a problem, as I have practiced this several times and then had to come back out and back in again. But there's a problem with the triggers. That's not too bad. That is possibly going to be an issue. I want a way of getting in and out of that. That's okay-ish. Might work actually. There's only one way to find out, isn't there? And animals, chickens. We're going to put in this homemade coop. And I want it as straight as possible. I want it behind that tree, but over all of that. Let's risk it there. Hey, now that's not too bad, you know. It all depends whether we can put our things in. That's a bit of old metal piping, bit of wood. They've got a little bit of shelter. They've got some things to play around in there as well, but it hides this. That's sticking through a bit, but that's fine. We've just put the mesh around that. Ignore that, that's fine. The tree doesn't break through, that's the main bit. I don't know what else to do around this area, or how to do the rest of it. The problem I've got now is getting the chickens in, because I couldn't get it to bring up the dialogue box. Yeah, that's going to be a bit of a problem. That could be a trip to the store to get some sell these chickens and start again, which we could do. That's not a. Yeah, it just doesn't want to pick up this. I've got a feeling it's down to the depth. Let me have a little play and I'll come back to you in a moment. Nope, not having it. So, to take them to the store and sell them. I was having that problem before. Another problem I'm now faced with. I've accidentally just saved the game. So if this hasn't worked. Also, I was going to use that as a bit of a drive through, which I probably didn't need to do. I probably could have just pulled up and had all the eggs come out that side if that trigger wasn't going to work. And then that would have worked much better. Oh well. Let's test out the trigger. It is as it is. I think this will hold about 150 chickens. Now that's cool. I don't know what sort of ground texture I should put down on this, because this is to be a yard. And as much as I quite like the... Oh yes, we can feed them. We could go double up on the chickens, actually. Now I think about it. We could put another... We've got all of this, haven't we? Main gate, yard gate, possibly a shed up here. But we've got room for another shed. Would that be over the top? Double bubble on the chickens? It's more expensive and it doesn't hold as many, but it looks quite cool. That's cool, but it only holds 20. This is 70 chickens. That's quite large though, isn't it? But we've also got a bit of shed space off that for putting toys and things. Where would it be best to put that? If we wanted to build a shed, well, we could back it on, couldn't we, really? We could totally back that on. I mean, that's flat. We could put it that side. We could also just flip it, and then the chickens would put it there. I think that's a bit of a shout just there, you know. Gives it a bit of a tight area for the yard. What do you reckon? We need to go and make some money. I quite like the idea of that, and then we might be able to put our chickens in there instead of selling them. bring this back. There's a little bit of sorghum. Not enough really, is there? May as well just empty that, haven't I? Yeah. Tip that in. We're going to need some more money, aren't we? We don't need to sell. I mean, we could get a. We have got collectibles to get, and that's pretty much the idea of the collectibles. I might put. Let's have a look. Collectibles. What do we got? Chickens and collectibles. I mean, better check that. I didn't think that would be. That's not going to be anything, is it? Might be something around here. No? Bike? Well, I must say I'm rather shocked. Deck chair's got to be something, no? I suppose collectibles are going to be retro things. No. Old things. Awning. I'm quite liking the way that's looking now. We've got to do something with that middle bit. Get that looking a bit more not fancy, because obviously I want it to look old. It is a working farm. You've got to have something up here, haven't you? Come on, that's got to be. No. How many collectibles is there? We've not had many. I'm absolutely shocked that nobody's got. That's definitely one. Yes. Oh, I didn't count that. I should have checked. It'd be nice, wouldn't it? I'll have a check on. There's got to be more than one, isn't there? Gotta be. Gotta be. Hedge hopping. Here, look, this that's got to be one, isn't it? No. Who's that? David. That's spade. 25 to collect. That'll do. That'll get that chicken coop in that bike. Looks like it could be. No. Oh, these are cool. We not get them as a. Oh. We've been all down there. Right, back to the farm. Tempted with a different gate, I must say. Don't know whether a bit of hedgerow down somewhere as well. Just gonna have to go for it, aren't I? That was risky. Oh, that's terrible. Get rid of that a minute. Try again. What's going on there? Curious. Yeah, that's better. Lovely. Little bit of a store to put smaller bits and bobs in. Nice bit of weather in a good solid wooden shed. Where did I leave? There it is. There you go. I don't know how many we've got. Got there eventually. And these are outside. These are... So they've got the options here really. They can go in and out. Nothing to stop us just keeping the gates open and letting them run freely in between the two. We can really go heavier on the chicken egg scenario. That's decent. Let's that's interesting. We've got a rooster. Don't think we need many more. Let's stick so let's just go all out. Let's go for 20. Beautiful. Let them have a roam around, why not? Why not? Probably. Pop that in there. I'll pop it there so I don't knock it underneath and lose it. They've got a little some sort of trowel stuck in there. Well, presumably while we were building it, we got stuck. 50 of 70 chickens in there. These now need some food. So I better run over and get that, hadn't I? Probably want to keep a bit of the mud around, the soil around now, actually. I don't know what to do now with the... Oh, it looks good with the house up on the distance and that pathway going up. Where they'd stick a hedgerow in. We're going to have to look at more paths as well. In fact, I'm going to have a look at the map because there's going to be some sort of ordnance survey footpath access that's needed, isn't there? I'll have to pay attention to that. Yes, I will. Got snow on the way again. I was hoping to get some ploughed. I need to check these grass fields as well. They might need some fertilising or something doing to them. I better check the animals as well. Right, I'll get this and I shall catch up with you momentarily. Is that butterfly again? Oh, he's around here. Right. They can have plenty of this. We've not got a huge amount of sorghum left. We're going to need to plant a cereal crop. Nice. It's got a decent concrete plate down there. I don't know what. That's room for a vehicle there, isn't there? But that'll fit in there wonderfully. So I need a bit of hard something down here. I don't think the cobblestones is really for it. I don't mind the mud staying around this bit at present because we're not building on it, but I think I might stick with this sort of texture. Let's have a look. What are the options? Bit of gravel. Is that rock or... Should we give it a go? Let's have a look. No, not that. What about that? Be alright. Run that down around there. And along there. Sure that will blend in. We'll put a bit of grass around there. And then maybe have it coming in from here. blend that to it. I quite like those bushes, to be fair, but blend that in. And along there. That's not too bad. Obviously they're at different growth stages, but they'll blend in over time together. Yeah, so it looks like it's old and weathered and blended together quite nicely. Might have to do a bit of a smoothing around. And then what other sheds are we going to need is a question. This is like a little grass run for them to just go and pick at the grass. But no, keep that shut. I don't want to come out into the path. They'll end up eating the crop. So, possibly going to need... that might actually need its own entrance then. And then this section is going to need some attention to it. I'll tell you what we have overlooked as well. We've got a load of landscaping to do up there, but that's going to need a pathway up to it, because that's the only access to these two fields. We can't get in from either side, so that is going to need a roadway up it. Now, do I take one straight up, or do we go around? We could make that wider and along, which then boxes all of that area in. Then they've got to have access to their allotments. And then this area needs looking at. I think we take that along. Does mean people driving past if they get into that field, but it's better than, although straight up it just cuts that off, doesn't it? That makes that into a really small field, but then I didn't want to have massive fields, did I? I'm not ruling out the idea of sectioning off. I don't want to. Do I want to go across and across though? I mean, that's not going to be one whole field, is it? Maybe we make an access path there. And this technically is a field. This section technically is a field at the minute. But we could widen all of this. Obviously, getting in and out of there is a bit tight, so that probably needs to be widened. I was considering, the thing I'm actually considering is banking all of this down and putting the path all the way up and along the top. Do you just put the path straight up? I could come up to here and then square off. Up to there, cut it into 2 large fields and then bank it off. There's no other entrance to that. That's literally entrance through there. So let's look at it logically from the user's point of view. They're either going to come in that way and then up, which makes our entrance their entrance, or they come in and around. Users of that's got to go around there again. Then they come up, back and up that way, or all the way up and round. Let me come back to you because I'm gonna have a little gamble at flattening this area and making that a bank, if it will work. So bear with me. So I thought I'd show you where I've got to with this, because I've run out of money. Literally, I've spent 25 grand doing the terraforming here. So I got carried away, obviously. This is normally where it would have been. And I thought, well, if we take the fence out and flatten this yard out, we could have an entrance here. And then we've got all this room for shed space and stuff. And vehicles, and we can drive back out up to here, which in which case I may as well have put in the pathway up to here. Which I'm not too averse at that being a field of its own and the access there. This I think looks fairly dramatic. I mean, let's just for testing purposes, let's just quickly borrow some money for some sheds, just to show it. I mean, obviously these aren't vintage, but this is sort of the idea that I was going with. Need a smaller shed to go off the edge of there. Oh, these would have been perfect. Get rid of that. Reposition the old sheds, I suppose, couldn't you? One there. And that one. There. Oh, that's quite nice. I like the idea of these sheds though, these oak bridge sheds, bringing them in. So, that's not a bad idea I suppose, but then now I'm thinking let's just have a big, what's going to stop us just putting a yard in here? So let's have a look at it the other way around. I've done it without bringing it down, keeping it flat. I forgot to save after putting the chicken shed in. Nice. Some work to do afterwards. Widened up the path coming up here. I've done it in the gravel so you can see the difference of where I've added the path in, which means they do have to come up to the house, but I suppose we could make this a lot wider, and then they come round this way to get to that, which I don't mind the idea of a path coming up there. Do like a track, I suppose, to give them the access for now while we work out what to do there. Another thing I wanted to check just before we go, because I'd appreciate your input and your ideas on this. Let's just chuck a bit more money in again. I want to have a look before we go at how the sheds would look. Where was that cool one? No, I like the look of that. So you could stick a shed there. That would take a fair bit of landscaping. Stick a smaller one opposite side to it. No, that's too big. Well, yeah, you could put something like that there. And then different colour for the... Oh, I suppose you could just gravel it, couldn't you? If you wanted to. Have it meet up there. That's not too bad actually. It would need need a lot of softening though, wouldn't it? That would be a rather steep yard. But I suppose you could move those. Move those bits out of the way, couldn't you? Those fences. I don't mind keeping the trees. Quite happy with the trees. I'm going to have a little walk down here in a minute, just check, see what it looks like. So you would be coming into a yard there, and you'd be coming into a smaller yard there, and then this is like your pathway up to the gardens and your home, basically. Or we do a little track up off there. Fences, yes, fences. I feel I've got some hedgerows. A berry hedge. Hello. Oh, that looks quite nice, doesn't it? Sort of blocks that bit in though for harvest time, but I could certainly hedgerow off the front of the house. And then, I mean, this isn't too bad actually. If you could smoothen that out. Certainly would create a lot more space, wouldn't it? That's just been chucked down as a thing. Obviously you'd sort of want to build it out from here, wouldn't you? Yeah, maybe put a little track straight up there would work better. Because what we could do is put the sheds you could have the sheds along that bit. Entrance in. Now, apart from that tree there, you could slide on in that way. And then possibly fence off that bit. So that blocks that area off. That's quite nice with the low fence, the low hedge. Actually, I quite like that. That keeps them off there. You've got a big yard here. Behind this yard, these bits, otherwise you won't have it this far up, but you could hedgerow across the back end of that. But then would you have that path there? Ooh, the options, because you could keep that sectioned off. I'm wondering, actually, we could sort of block this off. So you would come up, round and in. That's almost like lowering the land again though, isn't it? And then you would come up round the side of the sheds to go up a track up there, which then separates all of that off. I'm faffing, aren't I? There's too many options today. Too many options. Anyway, we've got the chickens sorted, and we've got a shed in. The trackway's looking a bit better. And we've certainly got some options regarding the house. There's a bit of landscaping needs doing around there as well, to be perfectly honest with it. I'm gonna need, I don't know, let's get rid of that or keep it. It did spill a bit, but I do quite like it at the same time. But we could almost cut that whole area off and have that sheds. In a strange sloping yard way. I'll have to have a think about it, but I do hope you've enjoyed the episode. If you have, please drop us a like. If you're not subscribed yet, feel free to hit the subscribe button. If you've got any comments or suggestions going forward, do feel free to pop them in the comment section below. Until the next time, thank you so much for watching, and bye bye for now. How flat can I get that? Or smoothed at least.